feel like as a freelance creative or a self-taught creative, nobody ever truly prepares you for the craziness that comes with hosting your own exhibition. Now that I've had a lot more time on my hands and I've been able to go through a lot of my photographs that I never ever actually released or posted anywhere, I've managed to do a few little exhibitions in small little restaurants, cafes, and show some of my work that I've never shown before. And I have been incredibly overwhelmed with all the needs or the craziness that comes with curating your own work. Hosting any exhibition requires so much work. These are just small little cafes, not to belittle any of them, of course, because any milestone to me is a great accomplishment, and for them allowing me to show my work is flattering in itself, and I really appreciate that. However, I can only imagine how much stress it would be to host a large exhibition. It can be incredibly anxiety inducing. So starting off small obviously is where everybody starts, and I think that's good because you learn so much from it. So now that I've moved to another city, I've been meaning to get more of my work out there, especially more of my unpublished work, street photography and anything like that I have never shown to anybody. And I thought it might be a good time for me to begin to do small little exhibitions throughout the city. I've been contacted by a few local coffee shops, and I've reached out as well to see if they were interested in showing my work on their walls just for maybe a week or two. And a few of them have said yes. This to me is a completely different realm because I've never done any sort of exhibition. I've never hung up any of my work. Hannah has told me many times that, of course, in doing an exhibition, you need to plan ahead way in advance. And I'm not really sure why. Perhaps it's me being stubborn, of course, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I leave things to last minute, and I had no idea how much work went into doing even a small little exhibition. So far, I've done 3 exhibitions, 2 at local coffee shops and 1 with a local photo walk group. I had no idea what I was going to present. I've never done this before, and looking at my work for many years that I never presented, I didn't expect it to be so overwhelmed by the amount of work that I had and photos that I had, and I struggled so much. I think at one point I just became blind to what I was looking at. Every time that I would look at one of my photos, it didn't say anything to me, and I ran into that issue many times. I've always preached that you should print your work because you gain a different kind of respect for your work. And I think that that's what helped me understand and be able to see the bigger picture in my work. Thankfully, I have Hannah that she helped me a lot, actually. I joke about her being my gallerist because she is the one that actually selected a lot of my works and pieces to put together to present. I was really struggling for my work to have some sort of voice, and I think I was just looking at things too much. Also, when you're deep in the subject itself, you begin to lose the meaning unless you have a specific vision for it, which I did not have. Also, I didn't have a printer company that could help me with my prints, so Hannah helped in with that, and that was a big help because I did not account for the prints to come in damaged. First round that I submitted for prints, I think it was a fault from the printer and the post company because they came in very damaged, and I had to postpone my first exhibition by 1 week because I did not account for that. And I had to submit for printing again, and I guess this time around the printing company did a good job packaging everything. However, it seems like the post office was actually very careless, and they still managed to lay a huge dent on the side of the package. Luckily, there was very little damage that I was okay to move forward with. In addition to that, I also had to worry about how I was going to hang the prints because I could not just drive a nail into a cement wall because that causes different issues. So I had to run into the city and pick up what appears to be some sort of sticky hanger. I'm not sure what they're called. So I had to buy a few of those. If you strip them too quick, they may peel off the paint from the wall, and that was a completely different thing. It was also important for us to go into the cafe and make sure I got a layout of how I wanted to put the frames on the wall, and because I think that also speaks to volumes as to how you were presenting your work. So we went in, I took pictures of each wall where I was going to hang my work, and when I was back home in Photoshop, I did a layout of what I visualized the pictures to be, and I think Hannah took a major part in this as well because she was able to say, this looks good with this, and maybe you can do this picture here with this picture here, and your name right here. So that was a very big help. And throughout this whole thing, I was low-key stressing out because I've never done this before, so I want this to be a representation of me, of course. And this is the first time that people are being presented to my work, and I wanted it to be polished, but not too polished, but just first impressions. I wanted it to be great. And I was looking too much into my work, and I was looking for meaning when I just needed to really take a step back and just let the work speak for itself. It was incredibly stressful, but I think incredibly rewarding as well, because as I move forward, I am definitely learning a lot about how my work is presented and what my work is saying on its own versus me trying to force it. So I think if you are looking to exhibit your work, of course, with enough time, you should dissect your work and understand what you were trying to say with your work, but also allow your work to speak for itself and account for anything and everything that may and could go wrong. Because if it can go wrong, it most likely will go wrong. Nonetheless, I've been learning a lot, and I'm really excited to continue to submit my work because I have so much work of my life in Los Angeles that I've never even presented. Not only that, but I've rolls of film that I've never developed, and I should get to doing that because there's so much work there that I'm really anxious to get to and understand and present to people here. I need to work on presenting and explaining things myself because they're just pictures to me and the stuff that I see every day. I need to be able to speak to my work a little bit more. Anyway, I hope this kind of helped a little bit and give you an insight as to what I dealt with going in when I was hosting a small exhibition. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.